So I decided I was going to go the holistic route and focus on plant medicine and see what I can do because I just didn't feel encouraged, and I didn't want to have to deal with some of all if I wasn't going to do anything like, okay, I'm adding this, I'm going to change this. If I wasn't in a place to do that, I knew that I would be one of those women that could get the surgery and it would come back because that's what logically made sense to me. Like, I need to be able to say, okay, I'm going to get rid of this and it's gone forget forever, right? So it's just like if I don't do anything to change it naturally and all you do is surgery, then surgery becomes my only solution every single time because I haven't done anything else, right? And I just did not want that for myself. And so we went the holistic route. And for a while, like I said, I was able to manage symptoms on my own. It wasn't really altering my life until it did. So I reached my breaking point of a few months ago, the beginning of this year, and I now understand that it was in correlation with, me losing my father. I was his full-time caregiver. A lot of my identity was attached to his, and when he passed, I found myself lost. I found myself just feeling like someone had put like this. I was just spinning, like I was still loading. Like it was just like, where do we go to next? What is happening? Who am I? What am I supposed to do? Because very much of my routine was, I get up in the morning, I check on my dad, I feed my dad, I do these things. Everything was about him. And even though, yes, I did sprinkle in some self-care from time to time, but I was so in that zone. I was so dedicated, and it was something that happened so abruptly. I was not prepared. I wouldn't say I was surprised, but I was not prepared. Anything can happen at any given moment. My dad has been through the wire with, what he's been through. And, he just survived so much. So I just was not prepared for that. And it really affected me. And it took me, after being in this space today, to reflect, to realize how I got here. And so in March, I ended up in the hospital with the fibroid pain. I was in unbearable. I had the sharpest, it felt like someone was cutting off my leg and someone was stabbing me in the back. And that pain lasted for about 3.5 weeks. I was on my cycle for almost 2 weeks, constantly. And then dealing with that pain for the first 2 weeks, I couldn't eat. I had no appetite. I would throw up all my food. I couldn't take any meds. I was sweating profusely. And when I went to the doctors, they was like, yeah, it's your fibroids. You should consider doing emergency surgery for them because this is not your iron levels are at critical level. All of my lab work was off the charts, and everything was attributed to extreme blood loss and the fibroids. Nothing else. There was no other side diagnosis, and I just could not believe it. I could not believe. I'm like, no, there has to be something going on with my leg, my pelvic, my back. I mean, just throbbing pain. But from 2023 till now, my fibroids had nearly doubled in size. So me thinking that I was maintaining them, and I would even say that I believe that my fibroids grew that size from 2025, like the beginning of the year, ever since I lost my dad. Like that's because that's when I started to be uncomfortable more. Like I don't know if I can leave the house like this, you know, or and so until we reached that point, and it forced me into an immediately reset. Because one, I mean, shit, your girl lost like 10 pounds because I just couldn't eat. I didn't have no appetite. The thought of food just, like, I couldn't. I was in a constant state of, like, just shock. Like, my blood pressure when I was in the hospital was 160, 170 over 120. And they're like, I'm like, because I don't do pain. Like, no, I do not do pain. Like, if somebody would have said, do X, Y, and Z to get rid of this fibroid pain, sign me up, okay? I would have done it. I would have slapped everybody mama. But that's how much I was in pain. I was crying. Like, I remember I started my period at the beginning of the year. I went to my follow-up appointment with my doctor on the 25th, and I was crying, waiting in the lobby because I just could not understand why I was still in pain. And I'm not a person who takes pain meds, but baby, I was taking all the meds. Like, I ran out of the 30-day prescription, and I've never done that. Like, even from my car accident, they prescribed me, I think it was morphine, and I couldn't take it. I threw up. I was just like, this is too strong. I'm not used to taking medicine like this or whatever. And even for this, at the hospital, we had to go through, and we finally settled on like a strong dose of tramadol because I couldn't. I really, every time they either gave me morphine or codeine or Percocet or whatever the different medicines they gave me, it kept making me nauseous until we settled on the tramadol and Motrin 800, and that's what I had to take to maintain. And now we're in a position, my now new doctor that I had is saying we have to do surgery immediately. Like, there's no room. It's bigger than your actual your fibroids are getting bigger than your actual uterus. There's no space. So if you want to have a baby, how's the baby gonna breathe? All this other stuff. So now you're putting all this pressure on me, and I'm just like, oh my God, yeah, I have to do this. But this is America, and little secret, their girl has no insurance. How am I going to pay for the surgery? What am I going to do? So I'm trying everything. I go on the marketplace, I do all of these things, and I'm unable to get insurance because I was my dad's full-time caregiver. So at the time, I resigned from my job and thinking, this was going to be temporary, he's going to get better, and my father passed. So now I'm in limbo. I didn't have it. I didn't sign up. I didn't think it was this is, I would need to do any of this. And now I'm in a position where you either deal with this for the rest of your life, or you make a change. So your girl made a change. And I was already motivated because I did lose about 10 pounds, not eating for the first 2 weeks. So it was a great start, but I was fully committed, and I understood that I had reached my breaking point, and I really needed to dig deeper. And this was not only a physical journey, this was a mental journey, this was a spiritual journey. This was an emotional journey, and I needed to do all of the things. I needed to get in my bag, and I needed to heal myself. So, as I'm recording this video today, it's been about 3 months of that, and I will say your girl is back to her 5 days. Your girl's back to her 5 days, and I'm feeling like, yes, I'm ready to share, and we need to heal out loud. So stay tuned for so many more stories and tips and tricks. And yeah, I love y'all, and I can't wait to just keep healing together. So get your cup ready. See you next week.